What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at a game called BULWARK The Falconeer Chronicles. This is a Waterworld-style steampunk post-apocalyptic city colony survival game that I think is actually one of the more brilliant and interesting games that I've played in a really long time. We covered a demo for this title probably about a year ago, but I think during the duration of that, I went in completely and totally blind, didn't really know what I was doing, and there's a lot of like little nuanced things to this game that are sort of emergent. This game is the definition of show, don't tell, in the respect that this game will give you a very lightweight tutorial on how to free build a city, and it's kind of one of those things you need to see to believe. But ultimately, this game is about creating sprawling cities with trade routes and things of that nature that are protected by ironclads and dragon riders and things of that nature in order to guarantee that your society doesn't fall. And Show Don't Tell is on full display here, just like I said. So instead of telling, I'm going to show. I'm going to take a cue from the game and we're going to dive straight in. If after watching this, you wanted to get the game for yourself, I got a link for you down below in the description. It doesn't come out for a couple more weeks, but I'm very, very pleased with the build that the developers sent over early for us to check out here at the Nerd Castle. Aside from that, you can also find a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream just in case you wanted to hang out live. Pretty strong chance that I'll try to stream this game at some point over the weekend. I don't know if it'll happen during the weekdays, but maybe on Sunday or something like that, because the developer said it was okay for me to show the game off before everybody else, which was really, really kind of him. So at the beginning of the game, we got 3 different areas of the map that we can play around on. It's entirely up to you which one you want to play. Most of this is like factional from what I've seen, and also kind of like the little build space, basically easy, medium, and hard. Medium will give you a large landmass over here that's going to require to use a lot of trade routes in order to get things done. Whereas this area right here, you can see it's kind of like large landmasses that are somewhat close to one another, so it's going to be easier to spread the gap. We'll turn off the tutorial real fast, and then we'll dive straight on in on a reset map.
During the War of the Tree, Dunkel, Castellus, Moorbridge, and even Port Remit. Nothing remained of our prosperous free houses after decades of attrition. We took what we had and left in order to resettle in peace, away from the warlords and fiefdoms that remain. We will succeed because on our backs the past was built, and from our hands the future will be wrought.
So with our little band of settlers, we're going to arrive on foreign shores attempting to survive, but we're not the only people here. There's lots and lots of other people here too, and we're going to have to interact with them, and we're going to have to make friends or make enemies and make war in order to make the whole thing function. So at the beginning of the game, we start out with pretty much just our airship. This game has a very has kind of an unorthodox control scheme. I think that's going to be the biggest thing that people probably struggle with, is that this game is intuitive once you've played it for a couple of hours, but up until then you're going to wrestle with it and be kind of like, okay, so how come it doesn't just build like city skylines? But at the end of the day, we need to deploy the center of our society. I'll probably put it on this little peak right here because this little peak sounds awesome. So let's drag on over here and we'll deploy it right there, and you can see our little airship dropping some stuff. And there it is. We have our first outpost. Aside from there, I don't really need that guy. The voice acting in this game is quite good, but I know how to play the game, so we're going to be skipping most of the tutorial stuff. This game thrives entirely on supply lines, and I'll show you what I mean. Right here on this wood tree, or I guess this tree shroom, we're going to build a lumber mill. And from here, we're going to press the space bar, and that's going to take us into building mode. Now, in building mode, you can click on buildings to select them and take a look at them. Everything in this game requires access to workers, and if I hit the tab key, you'll see what every building is producing right now. Like, this is not a game that's similar to anything else that you've played, really. It's a game where you got to kind of, like, puzzle it out. In the respect to show, don't tell, a lot of things are unexplained in this game. A lot of interactions are unexplained. I sort of dig that because it kind of gives you that Loop Hero experience of being like, what if I play this tile next to this tile? Does anything happen? This game does the exact same thing. And so from the control method that we have, you can see that I can extend out from this building, and were I to right-click, if it's got a circle, that means it'll build a tower, and it will connect those two right there. Towers are responsible for building up your population. These buildings right here, this one is producing 1 wood. That means it can make 1 leap. So if I build a walkway right there by right-clicking, you'll see now that by connecting the wood mill to our Freehouse outpost, which provides fists, which is manpower, we've now boosted it on up. And what you'll see is along these little walkways right here, people will start to build little storage depots, they'll build little houses, there'll be little barrels and things around. And now that we've connected our outpost to the wood mill, we can upgrade this. Oh, no, we can't. We got to have stone first. All right, well, what we can do is if you see it's like a little square right there, that means that we can put out like a little jetty that people can build houses on top of. But first and foremost, let's get our wood situation taken care of. This first map starts out very, very easy peasy with 3 extractors right next to each other. So we'll go ahead and build a stone mine right here. You'll see it fall on out. And now we need to get this connected to the rest of our society. Now, because he doesn't have wood available,
there is no tower with access to wood near.
We're going to have to build from the other side out. And so we're going to go over to here, and we're going to build probably a little tower right there on that stone. And you'll see it right there. It's been built up. And then we're going to create a walkway. So we'll connect that right there. We'll make a walkway right there. We're having a little bit of trouble with wood right here. I need to find the selection spot. There it is. And so now we have access to stone, and they've got like a little drawbridge that they've built. And everything that they're building is entirely procedural. You never quite know what your city's going to look like. You can set it up so that it's based around altitude or it's like sea level, but the things your little citizens build based on what they have available to them are going to be totally random. I've had some really cool houses get built in particularly resource-rich areas. I've had really rad towers build up in particular areas. I've had other areas that are clearly like the poor quarter that don't have access to things. And so with this little tab key, you can see what's being transferred in between these different areas of our society. The blue being the stone. And so the more people that each building has access to, you see this +6 right here? That's basically how many hops it can make before it dies out and it starts getting wiggly, like this little guy right here. So what we really need to do is we need to make sure that manpower is the thing that we don't have a lot of. However, now that our tower has access to stone, we can upgrade it to a stone tower. So now it's a large outpost that's giving us +4, and as you can see, the green line is no longer wiggling. It can make that jump. As you level up the outpost, it's also going to get access to new things it couldn't do before. So were I to put out some foundations, which is what the squares mean, we can put out some foundations here. And what you'll see is, on these little foundations, people will start to build houses. Our population will go up in the top right-hand corner. And the more population that surround a generator building, like the Freehouse outpost, the higher it outputs. And so this is going to be a fundamental aspect of the game that you just need to get used to. That's just the way that it plays. That's just the way that it goes. I'll probably put a little tower right there, too, just to boost up their population even further. We can upgrade those to stone right there, no problem. We can put out a foundation on that side. We can put down a foundation on that side. That'll give us even more access to population, and so you should see little houses start to pop up all along here. But that's not all. These towers can be upgraded all the way into command towers once we have access to other resources. Once they are command towers, we can put a commander inside of them, which spawn from random world events and things like that. Once there's a commander inside of there based on his specialization, he will assign an escort to our little blimp right here. And so you'll start to have little dragon riders, and you'll have little riflemen that are riding eagles, and you'll have little snake creatures flying through the sky that are escorting you, kind of like dogs, that will help you should any conflict arise and should any fight, unfortunately, unfold. They said at the beginning of the game, we're here for peace, but that doesn't mean that everybody else is. Let's build another tower right here in the shallows. We can only build in the shallows, so you see where the water is lighter? We can only build inside those areas or on land masses. Those are our only options. We'll put up another bridge right there. This little guy right here can't build like very big foundations, and you'll get a little bit of a contextual hint as to what it is your people are actually aiding produce. If you take a look, I want to get these all connected. There we go. Let's get those all connected right there, and we'll completely and totally surround this trim tree. You'll be able to figure out what they are assisting by looking at the buildings that build around these areas. So you see how there's like a smaller tree shroom right there. There's some tree shrooms right there. So stuff that we build inside this radius is going to aid our wood production, whereas most of the stuff you're going to see near this tower over on this side are going to be related to populations and housing. I saw a spot right there that I can get a tower in. Let's get a tower in over on this side. There we go. That's a good guy right there. We'll go ahead and put out a little... Oh, it didn't like the jetty right there. Unfortunate. Well, we'll put out a jetty right there then, maybe. Looks like it kind of worked. It's got like a stairwell in the middle of it, so I don't know if that tower was actually worth putting down. But you can see our population hops have gone up to +6 now because our population has crested almost 500 people. We will want to take these over here, and we don't want to, like, overbuild if we can help it. But we do want to get a few more living areas as well for our people to be inside of. And isn't this a cool game? Like, this is a really, really cool idea. There was another game that came out kind of like this where you just kind of free paint buildings and they evolve and change in unexpected ways based on what you're playing around with. But that game felt kind of like a plug-in to me. It didn't have mechanics. It didn't have a hook. It was basically just an artistic exercise. Whereas this game, you've got the same artistic exercise, but you've also got a bunch of city building, diplomacy, warfare mechanics built on in there. And so this is kind of like the Townscaper, I think was the name of it. And so this is kind of like the natural evolution of that idea is like, all right, so we've got the painting idea down. Now, how do we take that and turn it into like an actual full-fledged game instead of something that you just kind of fiddle with till you build something pretty and then you move on. Now, you may have noticed we're kind of like iron locked right now. We can't really do much until we have access to iron. I think at the beginning of the game, we start out with a guy that can move iron for us. Yeah, Captain Salad Tree, which is apparently a very, very famous name in these parts. Do not doubt the efficacy of the Salad Tree name. But what we will need to do is we need to start building harbors, unfortunately. And so we'll build an iron mine over here because we have the extractor for that. And then we're going to build a harbor right here. This harbor is going to establish a trade route that will transfer this iron back to our base. Now, there are a million billion different captains in this game. They all do different stuff. Pay attention over here on this right-hand side. It'll tell you what they do. So we have access to a number of different captains. They all transfer different things, but this guy will transfer manpower and he will transfer iron. And so we want him to do this because this mine right here is not going to have access to manpower. Therefore, it's only going to be able to spread iron by like one jump until we connect it with manpower. So this guy satisfies both the need to transfer iron and also the need to transfer manpower. So we'll assign him to this trade route right here. We'll go back to our little blimp. And then from our little blimp, we want this iron trade route to be as close to our base as possible. And so we'll probably put this iron trade route in like right here, I suppose. We don't really need to defend it. These trade routes do need to be defended as time goes along. You will have to protect them, but only once you start making really, really long, like, transatlantic runs. This little trade route right here is very unlikely to come under attack because it's right next to our central base, and it's basically just across the English Channel. It's not a very long run as far as by boat goes. However, were we to look at the world map and were we to do a trade lane that goes up to Molten Stream and it crosses all this empty territory, that's when we would probably want to start assigning ironclads to it. That's probably when we'd want to start assigning destroyers to it. All of those things can be discovered on the map. You can see right here that there is a ship that is available for hire. There are a number of different factions in this game, and based on the mixture of factions inside your society, different hostilities will come up. So people tend to bump heads. Right now, we are freeholders, which means that we're basically freemen. We can do whatever we want. We're not bound to any house. We're basically the free people of the world. However, there are the Imperium, there are the pirates, there are other factions, and if you invite them into your society and you build up their population centers, they're going to grind gears with other people that may disagree with their lifestyle or their allegiances. Those people bring those alliances with them when they join your society. So you need to be very careful about who you give the okay to move into your city. We do have something over here we can investigate. I'm going to autopilot on over to it. You can right-click on the map at any time, and it will autopilot your blimp over to go see those people. We do need to be careful about what hands we shake right now and about what friends we make, because we aren't very heavily armed at the moment. We don't have an escort or anything else. This guy right here, Ensign Wolfson, he's got a guild business offer. So this will make businesses appear. Nothing in this game really tells you what it does. You've just got to kind of figure it out. We will allow this guy to move on into our society because he doesn't have any pre-existing allegiances that I'm worried about. There are little details like sharks in the water in the shallows, things of that nature while you're playing around. And it looks like now that we've supplied manpower to the iron mine, it's boosted up from a +1 to a +6, which is great. That means most of our society has at least shaky access to iron. So let's see what that means. That means that we can take this outpost and we can upgrade it. So there you go. We've got a much larger outpost now that we can fool around with. This also means that we can take these towers over here and we can upgrade them too. Upgrading these towers is going to give us access to something new. Previously, we had access to foundations. Now we have access to actual paddocks, which are denoted with the triangles right there. We can't really place them out and over the water on that side, but I'll show you what these do right here, and they will kind of overlay some of the... This might not be a good spot to do this. Let's do it right here. This is a much better spot. So we'll upgrade that to an iron tower, and watch. Now we can put out these little, like, time dials, effectively, like these little clock dials that will connect. And these will give us huge amounts of building space. And you can already see that there's a demand for places to live inside of our society. It's not stated anywhere, but you can see houses filling this in already to help out with that. Now, if we wanted, you can see here that iron distribution is very, very shaky inside of our society at the moment. How do we boost that up? Well, we can boost that up. We've given these guys access to manpower, but they don't have access to wood, so we can't build any bridges or anything right now. By giving them access to manpower, we've boosted up their production, but they don't have any way to get wood over to here. And so in order for us to start turning this into a city that will then boost up the iron production, which will then make our trade lines a lot less shaky over in our main society, we need to start thinking about ways to get wood over here. Giggity, giggity. So let's go talk to this pilot over here, and let's see maybe what they can provide us with. So we've got a ship over here that we can interact with.
My ship and kin have served Dunkel for generations. Dunkel is no more. I was hoping to serve your new settlement and find honor in protecting your trade route. The time for my
So by doing this, we get a cutter, we gain a fighting vessel as well that can protect our train lanes, and when we place this guy, we also get free house alignment, which is what we're working on anyways, so that's an easy pick. These guys over here also look like freeholders.
This meager holding was always a last resort. We need a more permanent home.
Yeah, that works for me, dude.
Temporary haven, so we can rebuild upon a spot of...
Let's go ahead and take them. Now, one thing the game doesn't tell you is that this settlement right here will stay where it is. Unless you go into this mode right here and you hold down V and you destroy it, then it gets added to the inventory of your airship and you can actually move it to another location that needs the supplication of manpower effectively. If you wanted to change what can be placed on your cursor, you press the F key. Right now we don't have anything else that we can place, but if we wanted to place something new, we could absolutely do that. I need to get wood out to there, and so I'm sort of curious. As far as harbors go, are there any good spots that I can build harbors over here? I can build a harbor right there. I don't know if I have a pilot that's ready to go and actively move wood. I'll assign Captain Hibbard, and then we need to get the connection over here. So let's go ahead and build that connection. There is kind of like a limit on how far away you can build from another harbor, so we're going to need to find a good spot over here. It looks like I can get one in like right there. I don't know if I can get one in. I'd like it to be on this little spot right here, but it may be too close to the other one. Yeah, it doesn't like those placements, so it sounds like we're going to have our wood trade lane go over to here. So let's have our wood trade lane kind of connect like right here. There we go. And we are now supplying wood to this location. That's good news because, unfortunately, we've got a really shaky connection over here, but this allows us to build some platforms and things in order to get this done. So we can get some very basic towers sort of arrayed around the edge of this guy. We'll probably have one break off and go down there as well. We no longer have wood being supplied over on this side, though, so that means we probably want to work on our wood hops as well. Probably have that go over to there. That go over to there. That up to there. And then connect that right there with a walkway. And now we've got this thing circled on it. And as you can see, the people in related industries, they build boilers, they build forges, they build things that aid in the mine's production. But for now, we need to go back to our wood production, and we need to get that boosted on. Wait, what's wavering over here? Oh, it's manpower that we don't have over here. Well, brother, I got good news for you. I can fix that right away. Let's put that freeholder colony that we picked up right over here, and they will supply manpower to the rest of this settlement. So there you go. We don't have stone over here, so we can't take any of this up to tier 2 just yet, but we can play around with something like this right here, where we can just put out some basic docks. There we go. So we've got some basic docks right there. I may also put a walkway that runs in between those two. Manpower is struggling over on this side. I need to get stone over here now. That's the next thing that I need to bring over. So let's think about how we want to do that. We do have one stone carrier, so we can assign him. And then let's see if we can get some stone back over here. Nope, I need to go over here. There we go. All right, so if I can get stone connected on this side and upgrade this bad boy right here, that'll spread manpower throughout this entire area. We also have some kind of anomaly in our territory that I need to go investigate. Let's go check out the anomaly. Oh, there's like a big tower over there. Never seen that one before. That's new. Every time you generate the map, there's different things on it. So the map layout is the same, but the points of interest are different each time you show up. Who are you guys?
Has not been supplied in over a year. We would go apostate and find safety in your group.
So these guys are the mages.
Do not provide for us. Our research.
Yeah, let's bring the mages on in. I feel safer with them than I do with pirates. And these guys are actually close enough that if I had a wood extractor, I could connect them right away and they don't need to move. I may leave them where they're at just because it's a cool terrain fixture. I think it makes our society look more rad. But we need to get everything upgraded to stone over here. And you can kind of see how the game gets busier and it gets more sophisticated and it gets more cool looking. So let's get these guys boosted up over on these sides. We do have access to stone now. And that means we can upgrade this guy as far as it'll go. There we go. And so now we've actually got ourselves like a Kenshi-style base over here. And that should solve most of our man problems on that side. Stone is still a little bit sketchy, but it is being supplied to some of these areas. Let's take this guy up by a level. We'll take him up to level 3. As far as the stone will go, that far, so shall we go. These guys still have access to stone as well. So we'll build that on up. And then it looks like that's where the hop ends. The good news is we can now boost up population over here to spread the propagation of our iron mining, which I think will be very, very helpful. So let's just build a couple of those right there. This guy right here, we can't put one down due to the landscape. But we can put out a couple of those little paddocks right there. This guy can also put out paddocks to boost up the manpower that we'll have available. So we'll try to do that real quick. There will be some clipping and whatnot that goes into the game. you'll notice it while you're playing through, but only if you look really, really closely. If you look super closely, yeah, you'll see it. But if you don't look closely, the game just looks great. Just looks fantastic. This guy over here is ready for a couple of paddocks too. So we'll drop a few of those down just to boost up our mine industry, get our population flowing. It's at +8 right now, which is really fantastic. I'm sort of curious if I can get stone transfer right there. I can, if I connect a walkway right here. So let's take that up by another 2 levels. There we go. And now this guy can more than likely replace most of the stuff around himself with just clear building space, which I think will be really, really nice. Let's go back to our main settlement, because I think it's time to work on our stone mine over here. I think our limitation on +6 stone mine is getting us into trouble. It looks like our iron is getting a little bit wiggly over on this side. However, where's the iron origin at? Oh yeah, the iron origin's over there. So that would be why it's getting wiggly. Okay, well let's see if it can make one more hop. Because if it can make one more hop, we can do something here. It does make one more hop, so let's go ahead and get our towers set up. And from there, in the interest of getting stone completely and totally supplied to our iron colony, I'm going to try to boost up the population over here to increase the amount of stone that we produce on a daily basis. And then we'll also... I may actually have everything extend out from here. That might make things simpler. They still have iron over here, so that's good. Take that up another level. And then we'll start expanding this out as far as it'll go. There we go. So we got houses starting to pop on in. Hopefully this stone quarry starts getting a little bit more oomph to it, I hope. We'll put one more like right there because the tower looks cool on that little rock. Now I think this one will only be able to build inwards, unfortunately. Well, I didn't really want a tower right there, but it did give us a cool looking little paddock thing. Take that all the way up. And this guy can't build nothing because there's deep water right there. All right, that's boosted our quarry up to +7, which should help out a little bit in making an extra jump over there. I also feel as though if we take this harbor over here...
A walkway going across the front of a harbor will obstruct ships.
Oh, I guess it blocks.
Make sure it connects to the rear side.
Okay, so we'll connect it like that then. And then we'll have that connect back to that tower over there with a walkway. And it's just beautiful how everything in this game just naturally flows and does its own thing with very little user input. Like, everything in this game is effectively controlled by, like, 3 buttons. Everything you've seen me do today was on left click, right click, or the F key. You know, like, it's just incredible the amount of functionality that the developer of this game has gotten out of just like 3 keys. The whole thing functions really, really well. And look at what we've built in 30 minutes, dude. Look at that right there. And the thing is, the entire time, we weren't just building this to show off. We weren't just building this to do some art project. It turned into an art project, but we built this right here while trying to satisfy needs and make our goods jump further so that we can continue developing out industries and things of that nature. Like, there's a functionality to the artistry here that is very, very remarkable. I don't think I've ever played a game quite like this before. We can build a command tower if we want. That's what I built right there. If you have a commander, you can assign them to this tower, and it will act as a defensive tower for your city, and it will also assign a garrison to your little supply ship up here. I'd like to actually do that. We do have a foreign ship inside of our waters, so I need to go investigate that. Looks like it's pirate faction.
There is word amongst Freehouse traders that you offer respite for weary captains. Will you have me and my ship? There is word amongst
I will, actually. This guy transports everything?
You have enrolled a trade ship captain.
Interesting.
To be assigned to transport goods.
I may be able to get rid of some of these other spots then. Yeah, let's assign him to there. We'll unassign him from there. This guy does everything. He transfers every single resource. So that sort of like negates the need, I think. I need to look at how this is spreading right here. But it sort of negates the need for all these other harbors over here, I think. So what I may do is I may just break those down so that it's not quite as messy over on this side. Yeah, because, I mean, that frees up building space, so we might as well. Can only do, like, a little foundation over there. But it might be nice to get up to this big crag on this side, too, and see what we can do with that. Supply chains are still a little bit sketchy on this side, so we may want to assign somebody that moves stone over. Actually, I guess I don't have any extra pilots that are ready, or I don't have any extra captains that are ready to move around stone. The good news is we can get rid of all these harbors too, though. These are no longer necessary. Destroying stuff is on the V key, by the way, but you have to be moused over the little circle that's there. I believe in a number of ways that has sort of messed with our ability to move iron around just due to the radius of this jump. Can I upgrade this guy right here? I can't upgrade that. I was hoping this would upgrade right here. Okay. Well, let's work on it then. The good news is I already upgraded that area, so it doesn't matter that the iron radius is messed up. And there's always the possibility that I can just put in a new harbor over here that directly supplies iron to that side of the city. So let's reconnect that right there. If nothing else, we reorganized our trade lanes a little bit better. It's not a perfect solution, but we did get iron back to this area. All right, so now that we have iron back in the area, that's at +9 right now. I do need quite a bit more population over here if I really want this to work. You can also build up towers, from what I recall, by pressing the F and the R keys, like so. So I think we can do multi-layer. Oh, no, never mind. It won't let me do that. I might need to upgrade this more. And as you can see, you can build some pretty consequential towers in this game that build up pretty far. And you can do fun things like that right there. So you can have multi-layered cities that have like little tiers on them. Like so. And then they'll build on the lower areas, they'll build on the upper areas. They'll have a good old time with it. And is there anything else on the map that I need to investigate right now? We've got an anomaly over there, so let's go check that real fast and see what that brings into the overall Imperium that we're currently building. Our Freehouse Citadel, unfortunately, is not producing as much manpower as it did in my last run. It was producing a lot more in my last run. These are pirates over here. We can let them join our society, or... So we can let them join our society, and it will add that little highlighted blimp to our flotilla so that our army gets a little bit larger. However, that will put pirates inside of our society, and they will bump foreheads with the locals. Or we can have hostilities with this guy. Sure, they can join us. I don't mind altogether that much. I'll probably tear that down later on, but for right now, I don't care about it. For right now, not that big of a problem, but if we get them access to wood, they could develop this little area. So technically, I could reconnect another trade route that jumps over to there. Technically, I think this can make another hop. Yeah, it can. So we can actually get like another nice little building area over on this side too. Let's take her up. There we go. A few more little building spaces over here. And if it can make the hop from there, it can make the hop over to here too. I think. Yep, it can make the hop over to here. Good. All right, so we'll expand that out right there. And I'll probably just do like a full rotation on this side. And what has that done for my population? We're almost at 2,000 population right there. Not bad. I think I had better luck last time because I didn't build my citadel right next to a bunch of empty water. And so last time I built my citadel right here, which gave me lots of building space around it, which allowed me to just boost my manpower up to like ridiculous levels so that I had manpower distribution that covered like the entire world. It was great. It was utterly fantastic. Unfortunately, the game only has one save slot, so I can't show you that city. We deleted it in order to make this video. But I'm very, very impressed with this. I don't know how hostilities look and how war looks yet, because in the couple hours that I've played the game, I've been at peace with everybody. There hasn't really been any major problems, but that might also be baked into the map that I'm currently playing. Either way, though, very, very unique title. I don't think there's anything else quite like it. It's a game that stands on its own, that's for sure. I'm going to say, if we can get those to connect right there, that'd probably help out a little bit, too. I mean, it's just going to give us wood distribution, but who doesn't want to distribute their wood even farther and even better? Cool looking city that we've built in very, very little time. Look at the runtime of the video, and look what we've accomplished here. Look at all the rad stuff that exists. We've built like a metropolis over here. We got all kinds of wild stuff going on this side. Did that never get connected? How come that doesn't have an iron connection? It's got a stone connection. Did I just never build a walkway right there? Is that what happened? No, there's a walkway right there. It's a little odd that it's not sending... It's a little bit strange that it's not sending over anything in the realm of iron, is what I'm looking at. The yellow line doesn't look that wiggly from right there either. I'm guessing it's because these guys don't have the things supplied that they want to have. There we go. All right, now I fixed it. We had to connect them to the main dock that has everything on it. And honestly, I was hoping I could shoot the gap right there, but I don't think it's going to let me. This area looks more or less fully supplied, except for this poor little tower over here that just can't seem to get a break. We can build this guy up, though. Good stuff. I'm hoping to bring... I want this iron to go up much, much higher. But I'm having trouble getting the buildings built in order to make that happen. This is now fully supplied over here, so this guy should also... Ignore that tower. That tower was an accident. I didn't mean to build that tower. That tower right there was not an intended tower. That is what I wanted to do. So now that we have this guy, looks like we can do like a little jetty right there, but not much. We can do kind of another one right there. Maybe another one right there. And they've got a walkway going that way. This guy is now supplied. So we'll try to drag that up. That barely survives the hop right there, but that's like a premium tile right there. That's a really, really good one. For whatever reason, the output on my iron mine hasn't really gone up. Even though we have all this industry over here. It may need more supplying. If I take this guy over here,
Things are improving.
and let's say we take this guy,
I serve to protect our...
My ship carries
well, I
wood.
got a
My
couple
ship
captains
carries wood.
left.
I will carry stone and workers only, nothing else.
That guy will carry stone. Might strengthen our lines a little bit. Then again, stone's making a lot of hops before it gets to that harbor. This one's definitely more disorganized than the last one that I built. The last one that I built was really, really organized. But it's just cool to look at, isn't it? There's 3 different maps you can play on. Each map you can play as all the different factions. So there's a decent amount of content here. Who is this giant ship in my territory? Who are you? Who are you and what do you want? What are you doing here? You look well armed.
Seems I have finally found that rumored safe haven, and what a sorry sight. Where are your gunships? Your corvettes? Where is your fleet? Truly, my services are urgently needed. This here is an ironclad steam rake. Not many of these around anymore, and she is for hire. We seek a new patron. Ours seems...
All right,
Been
yeah.
rolled an
Welcome
officer.
on in.
They command a mighty warship to defend your trade routes.
And if we wanted to defend that trade route, all we gotta do is come over here,
My ship carries wood.
And we need to take a look, and there's the steam rake right there. We assign him. This is now a protected safe route. It's considered a safe route if it has anybody armed inside of it. It's considered a protected safe route if you've got a dedicated war machine effectively flying around. Oh, we're starting to get, you see those little bat guys right there? We're starting to get a bigger fleet. Oop, didn't want to do that. I need to come back over here. Where'd my little fleet guys go? I just flew off without them, huh? There they are. You can see my little eagle riders right here. That's actually like a little guy with like a plasma rifle that's riding on a bat. And so as your society gets bigger, you get better and better escorts and like cooler and cooler stuff that cruises around with your Zeppelin that allows you to like intimidate other societies. Like, let's say these guys over here. Let's go visit them. What do these guys want? The smelly log floaters. We're slightly aligned with them due to pirates living in our society. They are slightly intimidated by us. We could technically, if we shipped manpower over here from our central base, they will supply us with wood. So we could do that because they're built entirely on a tree shroom over here. We could also just declare war on them and obliterate them if that's what we wanted to do. Completely and totally inside of our prerogative, but I wanted to make sure you guys understood. These are not just like pterodactyls flying around my craft right now. These are actually little riders that like fight, and it looks like they've got a couple over there too, like some of those are theirs. But this is Bulwark. I think the game is really, really cool. I'm looking forward to playing around with it more and figuring out more of the intricacies of how it works. I think that's honestly what attracts me to the game, is that so many things are unexplained and just have to be figured out contextually as you play the game, that you just gotta fiddle with it for a while and figure out what works. I'm guessing our main issue is a lack of manpower, is my main thought. But we did get stone fully supplied on over here, so this area is about as developed as it's going to go without us picking up another iron mine. We've got another Corsair over here. Well, my name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we were playing Bulwark, Falconeer Chronicles. Tomorrow, we will be playing something else. Take care, and that's about all I got for you, folks. Bye!